welcome. Shout out to Kamoya. My day is going well. Thank you for asking. How about you? How's your day going? Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Liliana. Shout out to Jayla. Hello, welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to London. Shout out to NASCAR Starter. Thank you for subscribing. You're welcome, Jayla. Thank you, London. I truly appreciate it. I'm glad you like them. Shout out to Everly. Shout out to Marie. Thank you, Marie. I just try to find like cute little things. Like for example, if I know me included, I like cinnamon roll. So I just try to find something cute to make with like little bows and a cute cake and all that. Same with this one. I like teddy bears. So I just think of this. I just try to make cute things. And then this one too, like I love Snoopy. And I like pink. So I just try to do little cutesy things like that. Shout out to Tyler. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Allie. Shout out to Trevor. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Gemma. Thank you so much. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Evelyn. I have more cinnamon roll birthday cards on my channel. I hope you can check it out. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Carter. Happy birthday. Or happy almost birthday. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Heather. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Maya. Happy birthday. Shout out to Natasha. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you have a nice birthday tomorrow. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Andres. Shout out to Harmony. Happy birthday. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Angelica. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Catherine. Shout out to happy birthday. Shout out to Roblox. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Adeline. Whoopsie, how do you spell Adeline? There we go. Shout out to Jimmy. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Jimmy, thank you. Shout out to Emery. Happy birthday. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Miley. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to Ivory. Happy birthday. Shout out to Penelope. Shout out to Naya. Happy birthday. Shout out to Laurel. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Afton. Shout out to Roblox, I got you. Thank you, Janelle, and happy birthday. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Annalise. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to your girl, Scotty. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to your girl, Scotty. Shout out to Gracie. Shout out to Vanessa. Shout out to Ira. Shout out to Carrie Ann. Shout out to Braxton. Shout out to Remington. Shout out to Brooklyn. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Isla. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Amira. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Wesley. Shout out to, is it Angie? Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Bella. Thank you. Shout out to B. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Lainey. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Micah or Mika. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Tayana. Shout out to Tori. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Sammy. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Salome. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Yaselin. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Hamilton. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Addison. Shout out to, is it Chuba? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Hubbard. Shout out to London. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to Mac. Shout out to Micah. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to what was it? Oopsie. Ramsey. Shout out to Rithika. Welcome everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Trinity. I live stream every day around the same time as right now. Shout out to Keegan. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Waverly. Shout out to Woods. Shout out to Salish. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I post other content. I hope you can also check it out as well. And leave some likes around some of my other videos. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Okay, I'm gonna try making hearts. There we go. Shout out to Amora. Shout out to Helen. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Lawrence. Shout out to Limon. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Limon. Shout out to Liliana Yepes. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Whoops. I try to make hearts. Shout out to Bluey. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to James. Shout out to Ross. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Mawa. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to David. Shout out to Troy. Shout out to Cynthia. Shout out to Judith. Shout out to Belen. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Armand. Shout out to Elise. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Million. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Jess. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Ensley. Shout out to Robert. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Wyatt. Shout out to 11. Shout out to Jimmy. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Colton. Shout out to Micaiah. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Amelia. Thank you for subscribing. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Eleanor. Shout out to Jeffers. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Mariah. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Mila. Oopsie. Mila. Shout out to Carson. Shout out to Cami. Shout out to Luis. Shout out to Kinley. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Levi. Shout out to Benji. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Bland. Shout out to Marie. Thank you for your kind words. I truly appreciate your support. Shout out to Marie. Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Giovanna. out to Carson. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to Dustin. Shout out to Denver. Shout out to Clarabelle. Shout out to Roxana. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Mauro. Shout out to, oh, Roxana with 2 N's, sorry. Shout out to Roxana. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to Croston. Shout out to Quinn. Shout out to Omar. Shout out to Hazel. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Sailor. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Delaney. Shout out to Damien. Shout out to Peter. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Harmony. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Zaya. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Nas. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to Monique. Shout out to Marley. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Kelly. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Tarlasia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Kamoya. Shout out to Iman. Shout out to Erin. Shout out to Sunday. Shout out to Bentley. Thank you. Shout out to Eliza. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Manny. Shout out to these people. Thank you everyone for your patience. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out and support as well. Thank you for being here. Whoops. Shout out to Samantha Lauren. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Samantha Lauren. Shout out to Caddy. Shout out to Fernando. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to George. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Michael. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Waylon. Shout out to Julia Richard. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Julia Richard. Shout out to Sasha. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Eli. Shout out to Julia Richard. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Arwa. Shout out to Yosel. Shout out to Autumn. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Manolo. Shout out to Brent. Shout out to Wesley. Shout out to Kamoya. Whoopsie. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Henry. Crew. Shout out to Bree Bree. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Lily. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Lily. X for you to R. Thank you, Lily. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Farms. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out to Farms. Shout out to Francesca. Shout out to Lily. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Vilma Hernandez. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Vilma Hernandez. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Esmeralda. Shout out to Narciso. Shout out to Idalia. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Alexander. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Gemma. Shout out to Andres. Shout out to Lincoln. Shout out to Yumi. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Cello. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to Bluey. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Bluey X9P. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to is it Val Pinacho? Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Val Pinacho. Shout out to Elijah. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Dylan, I got you. Thank you so much. Shout out to Cassidy. Shout out to Mia Via. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Excuse me. Shout out to Christopher. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Bryn. Shout out to Anisha. Shout out to Ruben. Shout out to Priya. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Bonnie. Shout out to Gus. Shout out to Santi. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Gigi. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Janmi. Shout out to Penelope. Shout out to Malila. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Mel. Shout out to Juliana. Shout out to Hasanat. Shout out to Deborah. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Colton. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Heidi, or Haiti. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Pearl. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to... Yes, shout out to Ileana. Hi, Ileana. Shout out to Pearl. Oh, wait, I already put Pearl. Shout out to Rosa. Shout out to Shade. Shout out to Annika. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Kenzie. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Francisco. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Tiffany. Shout out to Arlene. Shout out to Dean. Shout out to Zyra Lee. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Sequoia. Shout out to Bailey. Shout out to Lara. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Denise. Shout out to Maggie. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. I live stream every day around the same time as this live stream. I also post other content. I hope you can check out my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Shout out to Conehead for Life Emma. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. For Life Emma. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Bang Chan. Shout out to, sorry, the live stream's going really fast. Shout out to Eliza. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Augustina. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Donna, or Dana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Eve. Shout out to Celeste. Shout out to Nathan. Shout out to Ceylin, or Silent. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Ruben. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Sage. Shout out to Vanessa. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Kate. Shout out to Lee Mino. Shout out to Elisa, or Eliza. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Samaya. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Samantha Lauren. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Samantha Lauren. Shout out to Casey. Shout out to Roxana. Shout out to Arav. Shout out to Najima. Shout out to Janaya. Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to Katsai. Shout out to Armina. Shout out to Amelia. I'm gonna rewrite your name because it got all weird right there. Shout out to Amelia. There we go. Shout out to Skyla. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Nancy. Shout out to Acel. Shout out to Caroline. Shout out to Najma. I'm so sorry I wrote your name wrong. Please forgive me. Shout out to Najma. Shout out to Naya. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Brendan. Shout out to Ryder. Shout out to Hasanat. Thank you for your patience. I know, I'm so sorry. I write really slow. Shout out to Mitzi. Shout out to Yosef. Shout out to Alexis. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. Alexis. Hasana, I got you. Shout out to Nicolo. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Julietta. Shout out to Soel, or what was Soel? Ahmed. Shout out to Janai, or Janae. Shout out to Nashi. Shout out to Dee. Shout out to Arius. Sorry if I mispronounced her name. Shout out to Cassie Diaz. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Cassie Diaz. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Jeremiah. Shout out to user CL3. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to user CL3. Shout out to Melissa. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Jaina. Shout out to Valeria. Shout out to Cassidy. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Acel. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Eduardo. Shout out to Abriel. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Ava. Or Avia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Dylan. Thank you everyone for your patience. Shout out to Savannah. Shout out to Claudia. Shout out to, is it Geisha? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Yasmin. Shout out to Cohen. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Ava Nell. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Nelly. Shout out to Mesa. Shout out to Jaina. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Padma. Shout out to Amy. Shout out to Eleonora. Shout out to Jenny. Shout out to Alma. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Julius. Shout out to Amora. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Tegan. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out and support my channel. Thank you for your patience. I know I write pretty slow, so I appreciate you taking the time to write your name. I'm so sorry. Shout out to, oh my goodness, the live stream goes really fast sometimes. Shout out to George. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Eve. Shout out to Sabrina. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Prayash. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to Jesse. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Zainab. Shout out to Star. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to Anna. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Faiza. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jake. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to, whoopsie. Shout out to Anna. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Sabella. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Catherine. Happy birthday. Shout out to Jadir. Shout out to Anna. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Alondra. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Anna. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to, what was it? Akshra. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Elise. Shout out to Yasmin. Shout out to Sarai. Shout out to, is it Nitro? Sorry. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Teresa. Shout out to Clement. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Troy. Shout out to Armani. Shout out to Elise. Shout out to Adam. Thank you, Francis. You too. Shout out to Francis. Shout out to Mag. Shout out to William. Shout out to Becky. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Delane. Happy birthday. Shout out to Omar. Shout out to Hasanat. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Jules. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Julietta. Shout out to Gino. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Veronica. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Lana. Shout out to Mateo. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Xavier. Shout out to Maggie. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to Ibrahim. Shout out to Sadie. Maggie, I got you. Shout out to Sanvi Money. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Sanvi Money. Shout out to Juliet. Shout out to Marie. Shout out to Maram. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Louie. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Rosa. Shout out to Minka. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Summer. Shout out to Summer. Shout out to Mika or Micah. Shout out to Jadir. Shout out to Fadi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Messiah. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Eileen. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Avec. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Amira. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to Tala. Shout out to Jojo. Shout out to Medina. Shout out to Luisana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Carreno. Shout out to Sharon. Shout out to Ruben. Shout out to Kamani. Shout out to Harrison. Shout out to Omari. Shout out to Azaria. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Hanny. Shout out to Shia. Shout out to Nydia. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. I truly appreciate it. Please check out my channel. I live stream every day. I also post other content that I hope you can support and leave likes. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. I will see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.